Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. We got us a double header, a Glenrothes Peated Cask and a single barrel sherry cask select for the state of Kansas.
That's a mouthful.
It is. Let's test it.
Test it!
Let's test it. All right, let's start with Glenrothes.
Fancy glass again. Fancy.
Yep. I do like the look, and someone asked, Ronald McCoy asked me on, I think it was Instagram or Twitter, about maybe it was a comment on YouTube about these and where to get them. I said those are Riedel cognac glasses.
Riedel cognac,
and they are very they make you
manga red.
Oh, I got your other shirt for you too. You need to wear.
Ooh, it looks pinkish and completely unshaven. Instead of a typical Scotch God shout out, we are going to talk about what looks like a regular Dummies coin. What? You want to do something instead of me continuing?
Scotch
right.
Shout out.
Because this is actually about supporting our Patreon supporters that have given or donated more than $100. We wanted to do something to thank them, so on the side of the coin it says $100 Patreon supporter. Believe it or not, we got several of those. Thank you to those. And we went with the old logo. Some of you will know that Patreon has a new logo. Ugly. So we went with this one. Actually, it was even in the plans before they changed logos. And these are only available for Patreon supporters that hit that $100 total mark. We'll be shipping this out to them soon. If you guys that see this are Patreon supporters and you know you've hit that level, send us a, well, don't do that. I'll send an actual message to you letting you know you're over that $100 mark. And we're going to have this at like the $500 mark as well, because some folks are getting close to that. So, in place of a Scotch God shout out, we've got a Patreon Super Scotch Gods. By the way, go to Patreon. You can find us at Scotch Test Dummies. So, all right. You can see a color difference already, and I'm going to let you. Boy, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
There. Thank you. I'm glad you put the dark one in the cognac.
Well, well, it's the sherry finished one.
It is.
The peated one got the Glencairn.
That's wrong.
Because I poured. You might have poured backwards. You might have done it.
Actually, I love the color.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Well, let's start with, now we had debated because the Glenrothes Peated Cask is really very lightly peated.
Right.
And the sherry cask, this is a cask strength as well.
Beautiful.
Is really full and rich. We're actually going to taste the peated one first.
Which is atypical because peat will usually kind of like dominate your palate.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, especially if you get a Lafroig or an Ardbeg, or if you're doing a tasting or you're doing a flight or a vertical
or
a run, if you've got a peated one in there, you want it at the end.
Last.
So this one we've tasted, we've got notes on, or I've got my notes. I don't know if you found yours on the peated cask.
I got them. We've had that on the shelf for a while to review.
You bought this a while back. Yeah, 40%.
Yeah, I saw peated in Glenrothes and I was like, insta buy. Doing a lot of sing-song voice today. By the way, we got 65 and 75 coin here. Apparently I'm into the 10s, 65, 75. You've got 64, 63.
63 and 64, yep. Now, just by the name of this, Peated Cask Reserve, I'm assuming this was just in a cask that had held previously peated whiskeys. Wow. It's not a peated whiskey.
That's a strong assumption. Usually I do that.
Yeah.
You know what else they got? They got a deep glass hole. Glass. It's a glass hole. All right, and it shocked me a little bit. I usually see that in like wine bottles, but I kind of like their bottle design: short, squat, fat. And so you think this was because it says Peated Cask Reserve? You think the finishing was just that it had an empty bottle that it held peated.
Empty cask.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Empty cask,
yeah.
And that's why it's so subtle and not overpowering. I wouldn't. I don't have the facts to disagree with you, nor would I.
And it's a Speyside as well.
Right.
It's not an Isla.
True.
Not that all Islas are peated, but more so.
You're in the weeds now, brother.
Yeah.
You're in the weeds. That is all true.
Are you going to mess up another review?
Always. I do my best. That's what makes it entertaining.
I think it was Jamie Beaver or Jesse Boyson pointed that out in the en route video. Right. My quote, "Are you messing up another video?"
That's good. I'll give you my quote. I strive for perfection, but gave up on it a long time ago. There you go. That's another.
That's for
true.
Sure.
You got to strive for perfection, Yeah.
But acknowledge you
give up on
probably
it.
aren't going to
Right,
achieve.
who is? People drive themselves crazy. The little loony bins, by the way, that's the name of a local comedy store, but the loony bin's probably not politically correct. The mental hospitals are full of people that tried to reach perfection, couldn't. That's all I'm saying. All right, what do you got on the nose?
Really a nice sweet sugar and citrus nose.
Yeah, it's crisp, it's clean, it's almost like a refreshing breeze.
Yeah, very springish.
Mm-hmm.
In my notes, I've got a little bit of salt and a little bit of brine from when I tasted this back in December.
This is good.
I'm not necessarily getting salt and brine right now. Now, I will point out, we are filming this on Labor Day. I went with the American flag and the new American, kind of the shirt I got. I like. This was available on Amazon.
I went with red manga. Has nothing to do with Labor Day at all.
It's good.
Gotta admit,
It actually has nothing to do with nothing.
It does. It has to do with style, baby.
That's a
Silk
double
printed
nothing.
Shirt. Double nothing. That's a double
nothing to do with nothing.
If that's a double negative, that would mean it is something to do with something.
No, I said a double nothing.
Oh, it's a double nothing.
About said double
negative. So my nose is bullet pointed. Green apples first.
Yeah.
Caramel on the next slight movement, and then I include that I've got a slight hint of peat.
See, I don't get any peat on the nose.
Right at the finish, don't you get just a little bit of like a trail whiff of smoke?
No. Not. And
Nothing.
maybe a slight salt is in there.
Yeah, I can get that too. I don't have it listed, but I smell what you're smelling.
A little bit of a grassiness in there. Hay,
Oh boy, that's good.
citrus, sweetness.
I love the peat here. I actually do. It's even gotten better since I first tried it.
Where?
Oh yeah,
I still don't.
It's on the forefront even.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a punch in the face peat. It's like a whiff, and then the peat fades and dissipates into the middle. And I find it gone on the finish. So that's interesting, because usually a peat really kicks in for me. Either it's the punch in the face and then the long lingering aftertaste. Here I get that first hint of subtle peat on the forefront. I'm going to have to break that back down, but you go first.
Just from the side of the box, their method of distillation produces a sweet, clear, fruity spirit. I would agree with that. Matured in American oak and Spanish oak casks.
Yeah.
The peat is still
Yeah.
okay. There, it's still to me. It's just a slight hint.
Look for it on the forefront. I list fine oaked wood, faint fruit. I thought it'd be fruitier, and then I've got, and this ending is true today. Ends with a New York style cheesecake cream. Now I've got in here at the end. I'm hunting for the peat. And it may be in there, hidden under a bushel.
I just got it. I mean, it's still though. It's very slight. It's a wisp of peat.
And I don't get it at the end, which is what surprised me in here on my notes. And now I get it. It's not the first burst. It's like early mid palate. Yeah. It's like the first little whoop, and then I get a peatiness, and then it starts to trail into the middle, and then it moves out with that New York cheesecake cream at the end.
I've got lemon and almonds in mine, maybe like a lemon cheesecake. I also have tree root in there. I don't know where I've never ate tree root, but
you ain't ate tree root. You're missing out.
Yeah. Apparently, at some point, something reminded me of it. If it was kind of a musky, dirty, or wet soil.
Dirty, wet, musky soil.
Vanilla and a light oak.
Yeah.
So. I like it.
All right, you ready to score?
Yeah.
Now this has warmed up a little bit since my original score. I'll tell you what's on here. I gave it originally an 87. I put it at an 88 now. It's opened up a little bit for me. From my notes, I had a real hard time pulling out the peat, and I'll be honest with you, when I see peat, I don't want it to be quite as subtle or hidden. But this is me. I also don't like older, even peated Lafroigs. They're good, but the older they get in the cask, the more subtle they are. I like my peat to slap me in the face 3 times. It's like a clap, and then maybe a backhand. Mm-hmm. You got an 88 too?
I gave it an 88 also, yeah. Now, it's almost kind of false advertising, I put it. That's like when you buy a salsa and it's got habanero death heat on it. You know, extremely hot, not for children, stuff like that. And then you eat it and you're like...
The label's got a guy crying and fire blowing out. And you eat it and you're like, well, this ain't even ghost pepper bad.
That's not that hot. Yeah. So same with the peated. You see a bottle, a bottle of peated, you're wanting the peat, you'll bring it.
Right.
And it's, I mean, the peat isn't at that level here. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 0.5, if you ask me. Maybe a 1.
Sure. Now
it's low.
Right. I mean, because it's so subtle that I wouldn't even use it for someone's first foray into peat, because they're going to go, I don't get it. I don't see it.
Where is it?
Right. So, I mean, it's not, also if someone hates peat though, they would like this. So it's a weird area, because I think if someone's like, ooh, I don't like the peat, it's like ashtray, they might pass over this, where I think they would like this. And if you're a peat head, you'll do what I did, insta buy it. And I think it's great in and of itself, but the peat isn't what I expected. So I think your description is apt. Mm-hmm. It's good. Mm-hmm. And it's still a good dram.
Yeah, excellent whiskey overall.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I felt like it's a great experiment, but it pulled me in, and then I was like, oh, that's not, not quite what I was thinking. So, and I think other people, like I said, are going to pass over it if they're afraid of the peat or just don't like the peat. Maybe not afraid. I don't want to. You're not in fear of the peat. You're just shying away.
Okay, so let's move on to the Glenrothes. And I'm saying Glenrothes. Maybe it's just Glenrothes. Is the us in there? Rothes?
You know,
Rothes,
when you want
Glenrothes?
Pronunciation of distilleries, you want to come to the Dummies.
That's right.
Yeah, because we never make an error on our pronunciation. Being from the Midwest of the United States, we're usually spot on. So I'm going to go with your first shot.
Both of these, and I think most of the Glenrothes, no age statement. We don't know how old the Peated Cask is. All we have is a bottling date on this one.
God, that is good though.
This is a single cask, number 5578.
Loving that.
Oh no, it does have this. This one is distilled in 2003 and bottled in 2017. So it's a 14-year, maybe a 13-year, depending on the months. Limited edition of 552 bottles that was pulled from this cask. And this cask was also selected, or Adam Clary had a role in selecting this cask to bring it to Kansas.
Go Adam, bring some more stuff like that to Kansas.
The moral of this story is going to be, if you see the Glenrothes, a single cask sherry version in your state, buy it.
Right. By the way, 40% ABV.
Now, Adam,
ABV here?
56.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 56.8. It's a single cask strength, sherry cask. He told me this was about as close as you could get to the old Macallan cask strength that was released several years ago. And upon my tasting of it, if the Macallan cask strength is anywhere near this, it was good.
Darn good.
Darn good.
Darn good. We're trying not to curse, because one of our videos got flagged as not advertiser friendly.
Because
we think it's because we use the D word, kind of like the thing that holds back water in a reservoir.
Yeah, like the Hoover.
It's the only thing we can figure. Right, like the Hoover D. Because we get a lot of videos flagged as possibly not advertiser friendly, but as soon as we ask for a person review, they reverse it.
Yeah.
That one they did not, and the only thing we think is different is you were dropping the D word like it was going out of business.
It was the Elijah Craig, and I said you got the bottle of D.
You got the bottle of D.
Because you wish you'd have got the bottle of Boom.
And it stayed flagged after human review. We're like, who reviewed this? Who's the... Like, it's like my great aunt who almost went to the nunnery.
So, the nose on the Glenrothes single cask, sherry cask, sweet fruits, all those sherry notes are in there.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say sweet Jesus.
No, well, that too. Almost some bourbon notes coming through with a little bit of a chocolate and caramel.
It jumps up. You're right.
Mm-hmm. And it's strong. You get that this is 56.8%.
Yes. By the way, when you drink from this Riedel cognac glass, I believe your pinky should be properly extended. I feel fancy.
This has a great nose. So
It does.
I'm going right in for a taste.
Go in.
Neat.
You're right. I get a few of those bourbon notes, which is that caramel, that cream. There's like a fruity, not overly fruited underlay. And again, almost like a salted caramel.
D, that is good.
For a second, I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, my D. Oh, my D.
GD. That is good.
Surely we won't get flagged. Go support us on Patreon because AdSense, what did we get, like $86 last month?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
We need help on Patreon.
I think it used to be YouTube is where you could make some money, but it's not
Not
the case
for us.
anymore.
Not for us. Maybe if you're PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Pewdie's got 53 million subscribers.
Rich sherry on the palate. Buttered caramel. Buttered caramel, not just caramel and butter, but buttered caramel together. Creamy. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries.
Beautiful mouthfeel. An immediate enveloping of my entire palate. Smooth on the cheek, almost slippery. No astringency here at all, just a warmth coating of goodness. Wow. It was so good, I got to go back in to get the notes on it again. Wow, the envelopment was great.
Now I have also, this reminds me of the Cavallon Vino Barrique, which is now a $300 bottle. I think because of the cask strength and the level of the sherry that's in this, that's what it's bringing to mind.
You were an early adopter of the Cavallon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were all over that.
Yeah, we got that one
I was
early
like,
on.
Taiwan, and you're like, Wow. All right. Wow. Middle palate has a wood floor goodness finish to it. It's kind of that oak comes through, but then it stays kind of warm throughout, moving to a finish that is subtle, lingering, almost a wow, I almost can't pin it down. Just that nice, almost like a caramel tannin as it drifts away. It's not an oak that slaps you in the face. It's just this drifting through. And I'm going to have to come back and get the front of this one again. Wow.
Almond cookies.
Good description. See, there you go. That was,
This one had a lot of notes.
You are right.
This one I was able to pull out quite a bit from, a nice velvety mouthfeel with water. I've got it's a medium to a long finish. I've had longer finishes, but this one does hang in there.
Usually with peat.
For a while.
Usually a peat
Well,
finish.
or the Balvenie Ton, a good 21-year, 25-year whiskey.
Sure.
Where that nice oak wood mouthfeel is rich and full, and it hangs in there and hangs in. Remember the Black Art 4.1? Remember when we had
Yes.
it first? How that finished? Just 10 minutes later, you were still tasting it.
Right.
Probably not as long as that, but still, it's not short. It's not. You don't swallow it and then it's gone.
Sure.
I'm still tasting it from when I had it before I started talking there. A little bit of a maple syrup on the finish. Apricots are in there. It's delicious.
You know, your almond cookie's spot on at the beginning. It's like a burst of that almond warmth at the same time. It's like the cookies just come out of the oven, cooled a couple minutes. You snuck one off the cookie tray when the wife's not looking, and then you're eating it, and you're getting in trouble, but you don't care.
Maybe a little bit of sugar sprinkled on top of it, a little bit of nutmeg.
I'm digging what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow, I snorted. That caused a snort. I was like that. That noise will make somebody mad. Wow. You know what? Again, everybody knows I'm partial to cask strengths. I'm just getting so much more even on that mouthfeel. It's just delicious. And great call bringing this in after this first one, just with strength. You're giving it a 94. I got a 92. It's delicious.
That's good for you.
It is.
Now, what I'm going to tell you about.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about. Adam said this was as close as you can get to the old Macallan cask strength. At least here in Kansas, this is $80.
Wow, that is a steal.
I know it. Yeah.
Wow. So is it worth it? Boom.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you know, or did, because I know you talked to him a little bit more at length than I did. I knew he was working on getting this, but then you and he talked when he got it. Did he mention on what it took to get it here? Because this is a special Kansas release, right?
Well, yeah. Well, he picked out this guy. He works with Standard Beverage distributors. He helped pick out this cask for Kansas. I think he did 2 casks, he said, if I remember right. But I also talked to him. I said, hey, well, let's get you on a live stream and let's talk about that process and this whiskey.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So he's willing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. That'd be a wonderful live interview.
Yeah.
So, okay, so look for that in the future. By the way, that means if you haven't, click subscribe. I don't know where it is on the screen for you, but click subscribe.
Like over here?
Yeah, is
No,
it
wait,
over
it's
there?
down there?
Is it down? I think it's down there.
Yeah.
Because here's what we do. Wednesday, we usually put out bourbons, Canadians, an American single malt, even though that hasn't been classified yet, anything of that nature. Saturday is always our Scotch and World whiskeys. So you're talking the Cavalons, the Yamasakis, the Irish, the stuff coming up from Australia, Sullivan's Cove. Well,
We didn't talk about price point here, which is the same. It's like $70.
Gotcha, yeah.
Is
So
it
still
worth
good?
it? Yes, I think
Yeah, I think it's worth it. The only thing is that don't get misled by the word peated on
Yes.
there. I think that's going to scare people away, whereas this is an insta-buy.
Or
this is why you listen to us or watch us. 'Cause
well,
we're
it's either
tell
going to
you.
scare people away, or you're going to be disappointed
Right,
that you
right.
buy this and that peat just isn't on the front of it.
Yeah, it's so subtle. You're going to
Yeah.
be like, well, where is it? That's what happened to me when I first tried. I was like, oh, I would thought there would be a little more peat in here. I thought there would be a little something more. It was very, very subtle. But this is unbelievable. Can't wait. Oh, and then Sundays is not every Sunday, but we'll do a live show with a guest. Scott's really pulled together the whiskey fabric.
Trying well, yeah.
Oh, you have. It's you're just like knitting them. You're like pulling them in. I don't know how you're on Twitter so much. So, keep it open. Yeah, because I'm even I'm the Facebook guy, almost non-existent. I go on and check stuff, but I can't. I'm telling you, I can't stand it. Do you like Facebook?
No.
I know, and I've grown to not be a big fan. I'll put stuff on occasionally. For a while there, I was trying to put it on immediately and laboriously. I do still like the comments, so I like being on there. I get notifications when we get a message that comes in. There's a lot of folks trying stuff or even asking advice on the fly. I think that's great. So this is wonderful. Can't wait to have
I've
Adam
added
on.
my second dollop of water.
Wow.
And
You know
it's
what?
still
You know what Adam did tell
delicious.
me? He told me that he really wants this to stay on the bar, so it's in further shows. It's like visual.
Oh.
He sent me a separate private message. He said, "Hey, make sure you tell Scott leave that on your bar."
Yeah, oh yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Adam, send me that so I can show him to prove. Actually, this is up your alley. You can take it home. You can take that home.
As the Scotch for Dummies says, it's in their wheelhouse. All right, well, hey,
Woo! Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies. Ooh. We got the photo.
Well, I just remember that.
Yeah,
We
I
just
know.
skipped
That was still a good, that was a good ending, but this is what
Okay.
makes us real.
the traveling dummies.
Yeah, the
We
traveling dummies photo. I got so enamored here, I totally forgot it. There was an enamoring happening. Boy, I kind of want to do that one, but not yet. So Patrick Van Elwood sent this.
Boom. It's a
Bam, it's flying at you. You're looking at it now. That's a great cathedral in the Netherlands. And look at that. He even got the coin there. I love that the cathedral is properly in focus. Coin slightly out of focus, but you know what it is. That's exactly how I like the photos. Give us the landmark in clarity with the coin in the background. Thank you, Patrick Van Elwood. All right, we're coming back into us.
Actually, it's Elwood. I remember. now he
Elwood.
said.
He pronounced it Elwood?
Yeah,
Elwood.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm reading it like an American.
like Blues Brothers.
Love it.
Elwood.
Wow. So now, Scotch it, you Scotch guys.
Cilantro.
Dummies. That was great. It sounded like we sped it up. Like, how do you?